Welcome to week 2 of our Pilates program. So to start with, we're going to get ourselves into a really good starting posture. Don't forget, it's really important to get all the right muscles working and engaging before we even start the class, just so that we start ourselves off in a really nice posture, and then we can follow that through all the way through the class. Okay, so to start with, let's just take our feet together to start with, so we can get our feet definitely hip distance apart. We're just going to take one foot out to the side, other foot out to the side, so that's our heels, and then we're just going to take one foot straight, other foot straight, and that should take you roughly hip distance apart. And remember, those knees are nice and straight, looking over our middle toes, and our pelvis is nice and still and centrally facing. Arms are nice and light, and we get that really nice broad feeling through the front of our chest, really opening up through our rib cage, and really getting that feeling of that helium balloon through our head. So we're getting that nice feeling of our head floating up towards the ceiling, shoulders well away from our ears. And remember those shoulder blades, I want you just to think about them in the back there. Those shoulder blades are just sliding down, melting down in towards the middle of your spine. It's a really nice visualization. Okay, so to start with, what we're going to do is we're just going to take our weight forward just very slightly onto our toes, and then we're just going to come back to centre, and then we're just going to come over to one side, back to centre, and then over to the other side. Then we're going to come back to centre, and we're just going to tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards, and we're going to do that again. So we just tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards, and here we're just trying to find that spinal neutral position. So we go backwards again and forwards, and then we come to that midpoint. You imagine you've got that low slung belt on, you've got 10 notches on that belt, and you're just going to pull in a couple of notches on the belt, and then you're just going to get that feeling of pulling up through your pelvic floor muscles, okay? And then we're going to engage a little bit through our bottom. So just like I've said before, that pelvis is just like a bucket of water. And we remember that if we tilt the pelvis too far forwards, the water will hit our toes. And obviously if we tilt the bucket too far backwards, the water will hit our heels behind us. So we need to keep that water in the bucket. And to do that, you need to just pull in gently through those deep tummy muscles, get that really nice activation engagement around all those muscles around the pelvic area. So from that position, we're then going to close our eyes and again bring ourselves forwards onto our toes. We're in that spinal neutral position. We're then going to come back onto our heels. And then we're going to come all the way around. Feels really strange with your eyes shut. Back weight onto our heels, but it really focuses our mind on what's happening around our feet. We come forwards, we come around, change direction. So just feel where you are in space. Weight comes onto your toes, you come back onto your heels, keep your eyes shut. And come back to centre, take your weight centrally, and then open those eyes. And make sure that weight is really nice and evenly placed now through both feet. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do to start with is we're just going to take our arms up to shoulder height, okay? Just the chest shoulder height. And it's really important that your shoulders are well away from your ears. I'm just going to start by doing our soldier arms. So one arm comes up, we come back to middle. One arm comes up, come back to middle. Okay, and I'm just going to do that again. So nice and long through the spine, still thinking about string through the top of your head, or visualizing that your head is like a helium balloon. Okay, so that's really nice to do. And don't forget your breathing. So we're breathing in and we're breathing out. Good. Now we're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to go up onto our toes as we lift our arm up. So shoulders stay well away from our ears. We come up onto our toes, hold ourselves there. Try and get that weight nice and even through your feet. Come down, back to middle, up on our toes, breathing in, breathing out, back to middle. Lovely. So we come up. So it's like our soldier arms, slowly, controlled. Up we go. Get that weight onto your big toe as well. Try and lift yourself right up onto those toes. There's always a little bit more movement there than you think. Lovely. Come down to middle. Up you go. Perfect. Good. Keep going. Breathing in. Woohoo. Breathing out. And again. Up you go. Good. And come down. Let's try a couple more. So really think about those core muscles working, the weight onto your toes, back to middle as we come down, toes, breathe in, breathe out, middle down, last one, off you go, perfect, and then come down. Just take the feet slightly more than hip distance apart, knees are looking over those middle toes, and then we're just going to come in with that little squat, and then we're going to come up nice and tall, really thinking about what's happening around that middle, thinking about our head coming up towards the ceiling as we lengthen out of that squat. And we must make sure that those knees are nice and straight. Good. So then we're going to come down into our squat. We're going to come up to the top, come up onto our toes. We come down into our squat, and then we come up onto our toes. Doing quite a lot of toe off work today, so working hard through those calf muscles. Really good for your balance and coordination as well. Up onto your toes. You need to go a little bit slower. Just go a little bit slower. Make sure you're breathing in and out. Good. Some really nice big deep breaths. Shoulders away from your ears. Don't forget, as things do get a little bit more challenging, and we start to challenge ourselves with our balance, then our shoulders, if we're not careful, come up towards our ears. That's it. Squeeze through your bottom, up on your toes, relax through the shoulders. That's really good. Well done. Come up onto your toes, work through the core muscles, keep your balance. Lovely. Last one, down we go. Then come up onto your toes and hold yourself there. Now we're going to let our right foot come down to the floor, and we're going to bend the left knee. And then we're going to start our walking. So we're coming up and down through the feet. Now, remember, when we're walking through the feet, I want you to think about trying to get all the movement through those little bones in your feet. So it's a bit like when we do our bridge or our pill down, and we try and get that movement all the way through our spine, doing the same through those foot muscles. So we're breathing in, breathing out, coming up nice and tall. That's it. Now it's really easy as we go up and down on our feet to swing side to side. So imagine you've got glass panels down each side, and you can't hit those panels, we're just going up and down. This means that you start to really work through those bottom muscles. We're going up, and we're going down. And then we're going to hug, and then we're going to come out. So just get a little bit of shoulder mobility, nice and tall, breathing in, breathing out. It's really good. Lovely. Shoulders stay well away from your ears, going up nice and tall, pushing up and down through those feet. It's brilliant. Really good. Excellent. Keep going. Then we're going to go back into our marching arms. It's good. Stay nice and tall. It's good. 4 and 3, 2 and 1, and come down. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take ourselves over into that side stretch. Stay nice and tall, get that lovely stretch. We're going to bend through the knees so we come into a squat. We're going to scoop round, and then we're going to come up again. So get that lovely stretch, breathe in, breathe out, come round, and come up. Nice, and again, a lovely big stretch. Should feel really good. That's nice. Last one, around you go. Come up into the middle, join hands, slide those hands down the back of the head, get that lovely stretch into the neck. Just lean backwards slightly, elbows wide, reach up, come down. Other arm comes up, get that really nice stretch along those side muscles. Breathe in, breathe out, come round, up you go. Lovely side stretch, breathe in, breathe out, come round. It's really good. Feel that stretch, get that really nice scoop round. Even though we're not necessarily squatting on its own here, but just make sure that those knees are still going over your middle toes, okay? That's really good. We're going to do one more. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back up to centre, reach up, and let those arms just float down really slowly, nice and controlled. Then we're going to take our feet into our plie squat position, okay? And again, we make sure that those knees go over our middle toes. We come up really tall. Breathe in, breathe out, come down. So really good here to think about that helium balloon, floating yourself back up. And then we're going to stay down there. And we're going to go toe, heel, toe, and heel. Perfect. Keep going. Toe and heel. One more on each side. You'll feel this through your legs. And then we're going to go toes both sides. Hold. Come down a little bit lower. Hold. Breathe. Pop your heels down. And then push yourself up. You really feel that in your legs. So we come down into our plie squat. Knees over middle toes. We go toes, heels, toes and heels. Keep going. Breathe. Legs go a bit shaky. That's fine. That means you're working your muscles. Well done. That's good. Got one more on each side. Perfect. Both sides onto your toes. Hold for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Heels down and push up. Should we just do one more set just to make sure that our legs are nice and warmed up? So we go into our plie squat. Toes, heels, toes, heels. That's good. Both sides now. Off we go. Stay low, squeeze, keep those knees over your middle toes, work through the core as you come up slowly. Heels down. Good stuff. Okay, bring yourself a little bit closer. So we're just going to do a little bit of balance work. So we're just going to take our weight onto one side, and we're just going to take that foot onto that knee, and we're just going to come out into that nice stretch into our hip. Now remember, as we're standing on one leg, we're balancing really nicely here. We're not letting ourselves fall to that one side, we're really squeezing up with that bottom. That's really good. And we're going to float that leg out, come out to the side, and then we're going to bring that leg back. Hold yourself there, get that good stretch into the hip, lift out, and squeeze. Come back. It's really good. Keep yourself balanced. Don't let those shoulders come up. And then lift and push out. It's really good. It's hard work. You should feel that in that bottom, but we're also getting that nice stretch into our hip. And we're working through the hip as we push away. Well done. Just let that foot stay onto the knee. Push that knee out. Get that nice stretch into your hip. And then lift and push away. It's good. Last one, and push away. Now hold that leg there, bring it back, but try not to place it onto the floor. Let's go out to the side, back to the middle, really working quite hard now through that bottom. Imagine you've got some resistance on that foot and you're pushing away. That's good, keep going. Really feel that in your bottom. So we've got 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Now don't place your foot back down, squeeze that leg behind, reach forwards. Imagine you're holding onto a big beach ball, but just drop the eyes slightly down to the floor. It's really good. Now I want you to have a go at bending through that knee, come down, place your fingers down onto the floor. See if you can push yourself up through that foot. Keep yourself balanced, nice and tall. Lovely. Don't place that foot down. No, you can. And have a little march out through those legs. Well done. So weight goes onto the other side. We come up really tall again. Remember, nice and tall. And we're just slowly going to take that foot onto that knee and get that really nice stretch out. And then we're going to lift and push away. Good. Come on. Get that balance. Relax through the shoulders. Get that nice stretch into your hip. And then push away. That's good. Foot goes onto that knee, we push out, so you get that lovely stretch into your hip, a little bit into the groin there, to the front of the thigh, and push away and control. So here I haven't got my foot on the floor, but if you need to, you can put your foot on the floor, that's absolutely fine. Good, and then push away. Well done. Come back into that hip stretch, hold it there, it's really good, and push away. Watch your shoulders, yeah? Good. Get that lovely hip stretch. Feel that stretch there, and push away. Now here we go. So don't put your foot down, come out to the side, back to the middle. Really squeezing through the bottom. Remember, we're trying not to fall to one side. We're keeping ourselves really tall. String through the top of your head. Keep going, you're doing really well. It's hard through your glutes. 4, 3, breathe, 2. Now we're not going to let that foot come to the floor if we can help it. We're just going to take it behind us. We're going to squeeze through the bottom. We're going to come around. Imagine you're holding that big gym ball. Eyes are looking down, and we're slowly, this is hard work. You need to put that back foot down. Come down. Fingers to the floor. Now think about where you're pushing up through the middle of your foot, middle of your knee, up through the hip. Come up tall, relax through the shoulders. Hold yourself there. Well done. Bring that foot back and place your foot down. Have a little march through those legs. Perfect. Right, we're going to challenge our balance a bit more today. So you're going to cross your legs. This is quite hard, okay? So in that cross leg position, it means you've got a little bit less base of support. Chin comes to chest, and we're going to practice our roll down like this. Now if you hate this, then just take your feet apart like we normally do it. Go down as far as you can, get that lovely stretch into the back of your legs. Breathe in, breathe out, roll the hands up, tuck your bottom underneath you, stack each little vertebrae one on top of each other. Come out wide. Get that stretch into your chest, come down, roll down. Good. Get that lovely stretch into the back of your legs. Let your arms go really heavy. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands walk up the legs, tuck your bottom underneath you, get that feeling of stacking. Imagine that the vertebrae are like corks and you're stacking one on top of each other. Shoulders come back, breathe in, breathe out. Come out, put that stretch into the chest. Last time, here we go. Chin to chest, roll ourselves down. Come all the way down, get that lovely stretch. See if you can just take yourself a little bit further. That's good. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands walk up the legs, tuck your bottom underneath you, stack each little vertebrae one on top of each other. Come out. Now we need to switch legs. So other leg comes in front, so switch yourself around. So just cross those feet, or those legs. Come up nice and tall. Still working really nice through the core. Breathe in, breathe out. Chin to chest, start to roll down. Segment by segment. Let the arms get really heavy. Feel that stretch into that leg. So you feel the stretch into a slightly different part of the leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll up. Sometimes it's harder on one side than the other. Tuck your bottom underneath you. Stack those corks one on top of each other. Come up. Reach up this time. Let the arms come down. Lovely. Here we go again. Chin to chest. Roll all the way down. So it should be getting easier the more we do. We should find that our hamstrings become a little bit more flexible. Hold it there. Breathe in, breathe out, roll up. Tuck that bottom underneath you. Come up really tall. Reach up and slide the arms down. Think of those shoulder blades coming down into the middle of the spine. Let's do one more. Chin to chest, start to roll. Get that really lovely feeling of rolling all the way down. A bit like a bicycle chain. It's really rolling down nicely. Fingers down towards the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll yourself up. Slowly tuck your bottom underneath you. Come all the way up. Perfect. And relax those arms down. Take the legs apart. Well done. You've just made it through the warm-up. Perfect. Well done. And hi there, welcome to our online class week 2, and we're now going down into our mat work. So this is our mat work position. We've got a little cushion for our head. I've got a green soft ball fairly close to me as well, and it doesn't matter if you haven't got a ball, you don't have to use the ball. It's absolutely optional. So to start with, we're going to get ourselves into a really good position. So we're just going to get our head supported. We tuck our chin in slightly, so we get that really nice long feeling through the head. Shoulder blades are pushed down in towards the floor, so we get that nice broad and opening up feeling through the chest, and we're nice and light through the arms and the fingers. Nice and light through our feet also, and our feet are about hip distance apart and our knees apart. We're not letting our knees come in and knock together. Finding our spine in a neutral position, we're just going to tilt the pelvis backwards, and then we're just going to go in the opposite direction, so we get that gap between the spine and the floor. Then we're going to go back again, so we just tilt the pelvis backwards, flatten the spine down, then we're going to go in the opposite direction. We'll do that once more. So I'm just going to go down, flatten, and then come back. And then you're going to find that midpoint, just like we did in standing, between those two extremes of movement, and get that feeling of really pulling in through those deep tummy muscles, pulling up through your pelvic floor and activating a bit through your bottom, so you start to feel nice and stable all the way around that pelvic area. And to start with, all we're going to do is we're just going to slowly take our right foot off the floor. We've got that half tabletop position, and all we're going to do is let that knee fall out to the side. It's going to come back to centre. We're going to extend that leg. I'm just going to drop the leg slowly down towards the floor. Pull your toes up towards you. Keep the toes pulled towards you so you're getting a nice contraction through your thigh muscles as we come back up to the top. And then we're going to bend the knee. It's all about nice control. Right knee falls out to the side, so we're on the same leg. Come back to centre. It's really good. Extend through that leg. Lower the leg down towards the floor. Keep your toes pulled towards you. Lift that leg back up to the top and then bend through that knee. Slowly that knee falls out to the side. Come back to centre. Extend through that leg. Drop that leg. Keep your toes pulled towards you. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Keeping that spinal neutral even though that leg, when it comes low to the floor. Hover the head off the floor. Lift back up. Let's just do one more set. So we're just getting those deep tummy muscles kicking in. Control. Lift. Lower down to the floor. That's brilliant. Lift back up to the top. Bend through the knee. And slowly place that foot down onto the floor. Still in a really good position. We're going to do exactly the same onto the other side. So come into that bent knee position. We let that knee just fall out to the side. And then we come back to centre. We extend that leg. We drop the leg, pull the toes up towards you. Hover that heel off the floor, keeping that spinal neutral position. Lift up. Back into your half tabletop. So we drop, we keep that other knee completely still as we drop, control, back to centre, lift, and then lower down to the floor. Perfect. Back up to the top, bend your knee, let that knee fall out to the side, it's good. Back to centre, lift, and then lower down. Well done. So what you tend to find is you lower that leg down, if we're not careful, we come out of that spinal neutral position. So you take some nice big deep breaths in and out. Make this one the last one. Drop down to the floor, all the way down. Back up to the top, and then gently place that foot down onto the floor. Now grab hold of that soft ball and just place that gently underneath your sacrum there, so we get that into a good position. So that is just sitting nicely on the sacrum there. So it's a little bit lower down than you think, a little bit lower down than your lower spine. Alright? So from that position there, we're going to take one foot off and then we take the other foot off. Now we're going to have a go from here of just going into our little toe taps. So this is really slow and controlled. We're breathing in and we're breathing out. So we're having to work quite hard here because we're working on both our balance in this position, breathing in and breathing out. Just make sure there's no tension going on through your head and shoulders. You're in a good position. Well done. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Just going to do a few more. I'm going to go for 4 more. Make them really slow, controlled. 3. Breathe. That's good. 2. Make this one the last one. Well done. Hold yourself in tabletop. Take one foot down slowly, other foot down slowly, and just have a rest. Make sure that ball is still in a really good position there. Good. Okay, so from here, what we're then going to do is take ourselves up into our tabletop position. That's good. Hold yourself there. And then we're going to have a go at just extending one leg away. Imagine there's a little switch there, like a light switch. You're just going to push the switch on, and you're going to come back to centre. You're going to extend away, push that switch on, come back to centre. It's really good. This is really slow and controlled. Breathing in and breathing out. Some really nice big deep breaths. Keep going. Really controlled. Push away, tap that switch on, come back. That's good. All about control. Much harder with that ball underneath that sacrum. You're doing really well. This is hard work. Well done. So we're going to try 4 more if we can. So that's 4. Breathe. And 3. Good. 2 more. Well done. Last one. And come back to centre. Place one foot down, other foot down, and just have a little rest there for a second. So we're going to keep the ball there just for a few more minutes. And when we're ready and we've had a rest and our tummy muscles have recovered slightly, we're then going to come back up into our tabletop position. That's really good. Okay, so in tabletop now, we're then going to have a go at taking our arms above our chest. And we're going to do some really small little movements. Good. Try not to go too wobbly. Keep yourself in a really good position. We're doing our soldier arms. Make the arms a bit bigger. That's good. Breathing in, breathing out. Well done. That's good. So 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Take the arms down into your hundreds and off you go into your hundreds. So if you've got that little softball, place that there. So that is giving you a little bit more of a challenge. If you haven't, it doesn't matter. You can still do your hundreds. Keep going. Pushing down with those hands. Breathing in and breathing out. Excellent work. Working really hard through the tummy now. That's good. Excellent. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Place those arms down. One foot down, other foot down, and take that ball out and lower yourself down slowly. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to move myself down a little bit so I'm not too close to the wall because I need to take my arms into my head for the next bit. We're going to place that ball just between your knees. Okay, so the ball goes between your knees, and we're going to take ourselves into our bridge. So hands are nice and relaxed. We squeeze up through the bottom. Come all the way up to the top, so a little bit of weight goes through our shoulder blades. We breathe in, and as we breathe out, we roll ourselves down, slow and controlled. Off you go again, so we squeeze up. Remember, you're going segment by segment, slowly. We squeeze through the bottom, and then we slowly, nice and controlled, roll ourselves back down, segment by segment, through the spine. And again, off we go. Squeeze up through the bottom, all the way up to the top. Squeeze up through the bottom, and then slowly roll yourself segment by segment, all the way down to the floor. Keep nice and light through those feet. Let's do that once more. So we come up, we breathe in, and then we exhale, breathe out. Get to the top, squeeze through your bottom. Start from the top, lower yourself down slowly, working nice and slowly through each little vertebrae. That's good. On the next one, we're going to have a go at taking the arms up and over our head. So we take the arms over our head, get that really nice stretch, get nice and high with those bottom muscles. And then slowly, we're going to keep our arms there, and then we're going to lower down through the spine, slow and controlled. And then the arms slowly come down, nice and controlled, shoulder blades in contact with the floor. We breathe in. As we breathe out, we squeeze up through the bottom. Arms go over our head. Hold the arms there. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time keep the arms there. Get that really good stretch. Breathe in, breathe out, come down. And then slowly, nice and controlled, bring those arms down by your side. And again, off we go. Up, slow and controlled. Good, get to the top there, squeezing through those bottom muscles. Arms come over your head. Hold the arms in that position. Roll from the top down. Keep squeezing hold of that ball. As you roll down, arms come down slowly. Let's do a couple more of these. Make sure you get that really nice movement through the spine as we roll ourselves up to the top. Arms come over our head. Hold the arms there. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll yourself down slowly. Keep working through the tummy, work through the bottom. Arms slowly come back down. Nice and controlled. Last one, here we go. Breathe in, breathe out. Off we go. Get that really good stretch. Keep your arms over your head, get to the top. Breathe in, breathe out, come down. Now when we come all the way down, hold it there. Bring the arms down really slowly, nice and controlled, shoulder blades coming down with you into the floor. Good. So from there, we're going to go up to the top of our bridge again. Come all the way up. Arms are going to go over our head. We're going to make it a little bit harder now because we're going to come up onto our toes. Keep hold of that ball. Hold yourself there for 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Good. Heels come down to the floor. Hold yourself there and just have a go at see if you can walk yourself through your feet. Don't let your bottom drop. Good. We've got one more on each side. That's good. Heels stay down to the floor. Arms come down as we roll down through the spine. Excellent. So we're going to take that ball out just for a second. And then we're just going to roll ourselves all the way up to the top of our bridge. So we're still in our bridge section. When we get to the top, we're just going to let that right knee fall out to the side. And then we're going to come back to centre. So place your hands on the front of your pelvis there. Let's just have a look at what's going on. Make sure that that tummy button's looking straight up towards the ceiling. And we're breathing in and we're breathing out. Good. So then what we're going to do, keep the bottom high, is our right knee falls out to the side. We come back to centre. We go up on our toes. Heels come down to the floor. Our left knee falls out to the side. Centre. Up onto your toes again. Well done. Good. And right knee. Side. Centre. Up on your toes. And down. Left knee. Nice and controlled. Centre. Up on your toes. And down. You should really start to feel this in your bottom muscles. So we do other leg. Side. Centre. Up you go. And down. Other leg goes. Side. Centre. Toes. We've got one more on each side. You're doing really well. Here we go. So right knee falls. Keep your bottom high. Back to centre. On your toes. Hold. Come down. Left knee falls. Centre. Up on your toes. Hold. Place your heels back down. Roll down through your spine. Slow and controlled. All the way to the floor. Take your knees into your chest and rock your knees side to side. That'll give you your lower back a nice massage there. Okay, so really nice big deep breaths in and out. Well done. Good. And then we're going to place one foot down slowly, other foot down slowly. Grab hold of your ball. Place that ball back between those knees. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back up into a bridge. So we're just going to roll up into a plain bridge, okay? We get to the top, we roll all the way down. Now you've got that gap between the chin and chest, and we're going to roll the top half of our spine off as we take our fingertips towards our knees, yeah? Hold it there, breathe in, breathe out, roll back down, Come back up into that bridge, all the way up to the top. Squeeze. I want you to squeeze that ball as you roll back down. Really squeeze hold of the ball as you come up. So we're really working into the abdominals. Breathe in, breathe out, roll down. Good. Make sure you've got that gap between the chin and chest. Off we go. We roll up to the top. Squeeze through the bottom. Roll yourself back down slowly. Walk the hands up the legs. Make sure you've got that gap between chin and chest. Really reaching forwards with those hands. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll back down slowly. And off we go into that bridge. So we go up to the top. Squeeze through your bottom. Breathe in, breathe out, roll down. Walk the hands up the legs. Gap between chin and chest. Hold it there. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll back down. Last one, here we go. Go up to the top. Hold ourselves there. Squeeze through the bottom. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll down. Start to walk the hands up through into the knees. Hold. Breathe in, breathe out. And roll yourself all the way back down to the floor. Whew, and breathe. Well done. So from there, just make sure you're still in a good position. Make sure you're still in that spinal neutral position. We're going to hold on to that ball, and we're just going to take that ball over to one side. If you haven't got the ball, you just do this without. Knees go over to one side. Breathe in, breathe out. Back to centre. Ball goes over to the other side. Excellent. Come back up to centre. Now let's start to bring in the arms as well. So arms come back to centre, palms are together, knees go over, and then we just open up. Brilliant. Back up to centre. It's really good. Breathe in, breathe out. Open up. Get that lovely stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Back to centre. Good, nice and controlled. So as we're bringing those knees up, they're quite heavy. We have to really work through those deep tummy muscles. Now we work through the tummy, through the bottom to bring ourselves back up. Palms come back up together. We go over to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back up to centre, nice and slowly. We're going to do one more on each side. So here we go, over. Breathe in. Out, back to centre, and we'll make this one the last one. So knees go over to the side, open up through the chest. Good, keep those shoulder blades down, breathe in, breathe out, come back up to centre, and relax those arms down by your side. Take the ball out. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves up, if we can, back into our tabletop position. Okay, so we've got one foot off. Work now through those tummy through those tummy muscles to bring the other foot off the floor. And we're going to have a go at opposite arm, opposite leg. Now remember, if this is too much in this position, then you can have one foot in contact with the floor. Okay, so if you want to, you can have one foot in contact with the floor and do opposite arm, opposite leg, just like so. That's absolutely fine. Nice and controlled, keeping yourself in that spinal neutral position. If you want to make it more challenging, you take yourself into that tabletop position where you breathe in, breathe out. Back to centre, breathe in, breathe out. Back to centre. Good. Nice and controlled. Breathing in, breathing out. It's really good. Keep going, push away. So what we're trying to do is really get those toes and those fingertips really pulled away from each other. Breathing in, breathing out. Extend away, toes away. Breathe in, breathe out, come back to centre. And again. Now there's a third bit you can make a little bit more challenging here. You extend away, and then we can take the leg and the arm out to the side. Back to the centre, come back to centre. Extend away, breathe in, breathe out, come back, out to the side, back to the middle. Excellent. Extend the leg and the arm away, breathe in, breathe out, arm and leg come back to middle. Got one more on each side. This is hard work, you're doing really well. Extend away, arm and leg, breathe, good. Last one, away from you, out we go, back to centre, and then hug those knees into your chest, give yourself a really good stretch, rock and roll through the spine, take some really nice big deep breaths in and out. Perfect, so from here we're going to bring ourselves up into a sitting position. Best way to do that is just to roll yourself up into sitting, come up nice and tall. Bring that ball with you, so it's really important here when you're sitting that you're thinking about that string through the top of your head. Still got that gap between our feet and our knees, and we come up really tall. We breathe in, breathe out, and we sink down through the spine, segment by segment. We hold ourselves there, we breathe in, and as we breathe out, we roll ourselves back up. We come up really tall, and we reach up. Breathe in, breathe out, and I get that feeling of sinking down through the spine. Brilliant. Breathe in, breathe out, roll back up, and then come up nice and tall. And again, down you go. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back up to the top, reach up with that ball. Good. So this time, we're going to roll ourselves down and take our left foot off, and we're going to place that ball underneath, over our head, underneath, over our head. Well done, you're doing really well. Under, and again, come right under, reach up, under, and up. That's really good. Under you go. Perfect. We've got two more. One more on each side. Good. Lovely. Hold yourself there, roll all the way up, and then just come down and bring your head with you so you get that nice stretch to the upper part of your back. And then come up really tall again. Feet come out to the side slightly so you're still hip distance apart. We roll back down. And this time we're going to have a go at rotating round, centre, up in the middle, down, roll round, come back to centre, take the arms up above your head. Breathe in, breathe out, come round, and back up. Come up to the top, breathe in, breathe out, come round. Back to centre, come up. Brilliant, you're doing really well. Get that rotation, centre, all the way up, and come down again and hug through those knees. Good. So give yourself some space behind you, because we're going to have a go at rolling all the way down to the floor. So breathe in, breathe out, roll down. Good. Arms if you've got enough space over your head. Breathe in, breathe out, come back up, roll yourself up. Nice and tall. Good. So remember, it's segment by segment. We're trying to get that rolling down feeling. Arms go over your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms come forward. You've still got that gap between the chin and chest as we roll ourselves back up. Come up nice and tall. Keep repeating that. This is really good for the spine. Really helps to get that segmental movement. Nice big deep breath in. Breathe out. Come forwards. Get that feeling of rolling, rolling, rolling all the way up so we're nice and tall. Good. Down we go. Slow and controlled. Arms go over your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. Here we go. Gap between that chin and chest. Roll up and come up nice and tall. Excellent work. Place that ball down. Well done. We just made it through the mat work part. Hi everyone. Welcome to the week 2 leg section part. I've just got a little mat here just to support my head. We're going to come down onto our sides and we're going to place that mat between our head and our shoulder, just to keep that neck in a really nice long neutral spine position. And we're still working through our core muscles even though we're on our side, and I want you to get that feeling of really pulling up through the waist, so that waist is being pulled off the floor. Quite a nice visualization, just to think about having like a little chocolate there, and you don't want to squash the chocolate into the floor, so you're just going to lift the waist off the floor. We're going to start with that underneath leg in a slightly flexed position, and we're going to extend that top leg. We've got a gap between our knees, so our knees aren't looking downwards, they're looking straight ahead, and we're in a really nice long length position. So we can either have our hand here, just on our pelvis, just make sure your elbow's looking up towards the ceiling, or if you need to, you can pop your hand down in front of you. Okay, so we're in a really nice position. We're going to point our toes to start with, and we're just going to float that leg forwards, and then we're going to pull our toes up towards us, and we're just going to float the leg back, keeping that gap between the knees. We're going to breathe in, and then we're going to breathe out. Point the toes as we come forwards, flex the foot upwards as we come back into that neutral position. Brilliant, so we're nice and long and lengthened through that hip. Point the toes as we come forwards. Perfect. Lift up and come back. That's really good. So we point, we come forwards, put our toes towards us, and we slide back. It's really good. We're working here through those glute muscles, so you should start to feel that through your bottom. You lift up through your foot and squeeze back. Lovely. So remember, we're pointing the toes as we come forwards, lifting up through the foot as we come back. Breathing in, breathing out, slow and controlled. Well done, you're doing really well. Point as you come forwards, flex that foot, pull back. Remember, you're nice and long. Not letting that yourself sink into that floor. Remember, you've got that chocolate underneath the waist there, and you're just pulling that waist off the floor. Good. And it's quite nice to think that you're just painting the wall as you point the toes and then flex. You will definitely be feeling that now in your bottom. Well done. We've got one more set. So we're going to float the leg forwards in that point toe position, flex the foot, come back to center, and just drop that leg down and just have a little rest through those bottom muscles just for a second or so. Good. So we come back into that position, and this time we're going to go into our leg lift up and down. So same thing applies. We're going to point our toes as we lift up, flex the foot, and come down. Point and lift, flex, come down. This is hard work. Point and lift, flex, come down. Keep those shoulders away from your ears, flex and come down. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. You'll start to really feel that through your bottom, outer part of your leg. A couple more if you can do it. Flex. Last one. Point, lift, flex, come down, and have a rest for a second there. Just rest through that bottom muscle just for a little bit. Good. Okay, so from there, we're then going to lift that top leg again, and it's quite hard work through that bottom. You're going to do those circles, and we're going to start with just a saucer shaped circle, nice and relaxed through your foot, just working again through that bottom. And then we're going to make the circle a bit bigger, so we come all the way around. Remember, the circle's just happening from the hip, so top half of your body is staying completely still. And we've got 4 more. That's good. 3. Breathe. 2. Last one. Well done. And relax down. Just bend through that knee. Just relax through that bottom and stretch out that bottom muscle there. And give yourself a little bit of massage into that glute that you've just worked really hard. It's really good stuff. Excellent. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a slightly modified clam. So we're going to take our head cushion out, and we're just going to come up onto our elbow. Okay, so we're working quite nicely through the waist there. We're nice and tall, and we're still thinking about that stream through the top of our head. Okay, and all we're going to do is just lift that top leg. That feels really heavy now. Off the bottom one and come down. Good. So we're going to lift, and then we're going to come down. Now have a go at taking your feet off the floor. Makes it a little bit harder. Keep pulling up through the waist. Still working through those tummy muscles. Working quite nicely through the bottom. So make sure that you're not rolling backwards. You're keeping yourself up nice and tall. Light through that hand. String through the top of your head. Breathing in. Slow and controlled. Brilliant work, well done. Last couple. Last one. And relax that leg down. Now, that top leg is the leg that you just worked. Let's stretch it out. So we're going to take our legs out in front of us. We're going to take this leg that you've just worked really hard into that really nice stretch. Give yourself a really little bit of rotation there as well. Keep up nice and tall. Really easy to collapse into your stretch here. Think of that string through the top of your head and get that really good stretch through the bottom. Well done, you're doing really well. It's hard work in your bottom muscles with that foot movement. Perfect. Hug your knees into your chest. Just go into a little bit of flexion. Get a good stretch for the upper part of your body as well. And then simply we're going to just turn ourselves around. So we've got head cushion on the other side. We're going to get ourselves into a good position just on the other side. So remember, we lengthen through that arm, place that cushion between the shoulder and our ear. And we've got that underneath leg a little bit bent there, and that top leg starts in that straight position. Remember, we're pulling our waist off the floor. So we've got that little chocolate underneath here. We're not letting ourselves sink into that chocolate. We're going to keep that for later. And you're going to make sure that you're really pulling in and engaging through those abdominal muscles. We point the toes, we float that leg forwards, pull our toes up towards us, we float backwards, back to neutral, point the toes, come forwards, flex, into neutral, point the toes, come forwards, good, flex, and come back, point and float. Really important, you've got that gap between your knees. Flex and come back. Good. Point. Flex. Remember, you can have your hand where I've got my hand here, elbows looking up towards the ceiling, or you can just put your fingers down onto the floor. Doing really well. So we're pointing and then we're flexing, just like we're painting that side wall. Pointing the foot. Flexing, got that gap between our knees. Point, breathe in and breathe out. Point the toes and flex. Well done. Point, breathing in, breathing out. Last one. Point the toes, good, and flex, and just come down. You start to feel that in your bottom there. Okay, so you know what's coming next. We're then keeping that knee in that flex position. Foot comes off. We've got that gap still between our knees. We're in a nice long position through our hip. Remember, we're pulling that waist off the floor. We're nice and long still through our head. And from here, we're just going to lift up. So we point the toes, we flex, come down. Point, come up, flex, come down. Point, breathe in, flex, come down. Hard work through that leg. You're doing ever so well. Keep going. Come down. Good. Point. Flex. Come down. Point. Come up. Flex. Come down. Good work. Excellent. Point. Come up. Flex. Come down. Lovely. Two more if we can do it. Good. Really hard work in that leg. Point, come up, flex, come down, and just rest through that leg just for a minute or so. Good stuff. Okay, last set on that bottom. Here we go. So I'm just going to take that leg off, that bottom leg. Remember, you've got that gap between those knees, and we start that circle. So we start with that, just that small saucer shape. That's brilliant. It's not too big, small and controlled. Lifting and lowering, and then we start to make that really quite big. This is really hard work through those glute muscles. You're doing really well. Keep nice and long through the head. Keep pulling that waist off. Keep engaging through those tummy muscles. Last 4 and 3. Keep going. 2. Breathe. Last 1 and rest down. Bend that knee. Massage into that bottom. Give that a really good stretch out clam. So we start with our feet on the floor, and all we're doing is we're working through those waist muscles. We're still up nice and tall through the head, and we're just lifting and we're lowering. We're squeezing through that bottom, not letting our whole spine rotate, keeping that tummy button looking forwards. It's really good, you're doing really well. Lift and come down. Good. Breathe. Lovely. And again. Now take your feet off the floor, make it just a little bit more challenging. Makes it harder because we're working again on that balance on our side. Well done. Doing really well. Keep going. Squeeze up through the bottom. Breathe in. Breathe out. We've got 4 more. Slow. Release. Keep going with the breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. It's good. 2 more. You're doing really well. It's good. Last one. Excellent work. And come down. Bring yourself back into that sitting position. So stretching out the other side, the one that you just worked. Hug that knee into your chest. Come up tall. Really tall. String through the top of your head. Get a little bit of rotation if you can. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. We'll straighten those legs in front of us. We'll come up really tall and we'll just come forwards, bringing our chest over our legs to get that nice stretch into our hamstrings. We're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're going to roll ourselves back up. We're going to come up really tall. Perfect. Bring the arms down slowly. Let's do that again. So we just bring the chest over those knees or our thighs. Feel the stretch into the back of the legs. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll back up. Come up really tall. Lovely. And then the arms come down. Okay, so the next section we're going to go on to all fours. Right. So onto all fours. What we're going to do, just get rid of your little head cushion, is we're going to take our knees underneath our hips, but our hands are going to come a little bit further forward than our shoulders. Make sure you've got plenty of room here, okay? So we're not underneath our shoulders, we're a little bit further forwards. And all we're going to do is take the weight onto our toes. We're going to go into our knee hover. And then we're going to take our weight right over our hands, yeah? So that we're in our plank position. Come back to your knee hover, and then take your knees to the floor and relax your toes. From there, come down into your child's pose, get that really nice stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back to that starting position. Still in neutral. You've got that third eye on your forehead, looking down between your hands. Toes come up, we hover. Take off. Get that weight into that plank. Eyes looking down. Breathe in, breathe out. Back to your hover. That's really good. Knees come down. Relax. And then back into that child's pose. We've got 1 more set. You're doing really well. This is hard work. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back up. So your hands are a little bit further forwards than your shoulders. We come onto our toes. We hover. That's brilliant. Take the weight forwards into that plank. Tuck your bottom underneath you. Good stuff. Come back, hover. Breathe in, breathe out. Come down. Relax your toes and go right down into that child's pose for that lovely stretch. So while you're there, take the hands round to the left. Take some big deep breaths in and out. That's hard work. Come back to centre and take yourself round to the other side for that really nice stretch to the shoulders and the back. Perfect, well done. So from here we're going to bring ourselves up into a kneeling position. So just come up into a nice kneeling position. So we've just got our knees apart slightly and we're working through our core, nice and long through our head. We're just going to take our fingers underneath our chin, elbows out high, and we're just going to take our thumbs down onto the front of our chest, there onto our sacrum. And we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're just going to then start to get a little bit of rotation round. Keep those elbows high. Back to centre. And we're going to go the other way. Really nice exercise just to get rotation through that top half of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Come around. Try and keep your tummy button looking forwards. So it's just the top half of our body that's rotating. You won't go far, that's fine. To centre. Round we go again. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back to centre. Breathe in, breathe out. Perfect. Excellent. Now relax down through the arms. And what I want you to do is just take your hands down to the floor. We're going to take our feet underneath us and we're going to just take ourselves back onto our heels and we're going to roll ourselves all the way up really slowly. And you're going to come all the way up into standing. Well done. You've made it through week 2. See you next week.